Blasphemy. As ridiculous as that may sound coming from my mouth. You could flee with him, you know. Take him somewhere where no one will find you.
What? Erlander, that... no. They would recognize us for who we are.
Not if we took precautions. But even if they did, no one would dare oppose a Lightborn. No one. Tealord, please, don't let him grow up without a father. He will be special, I can feel it, and he will need you.
What is this? But... no, I can't. The Council, Erlander. You know what they said about me. They want to do it.
You mean the exaltation? I can't believe you just said that. This is about a child, Tealord. Our child.
Yes, our child. Why don't you tell me another 1,000 times? I have obligations, damn it. And you should know that better than anyone else. You know how hard I've worked to get here, Erlander. And now you want me to give it all up? For this thing?
Tealord, how? I just don't know what to say. Being a seraph, it's a title by the name of the sun. A title. How can that possibly be more important to you than... Oh, I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Of course you can't. You've never known... means to have to fight for something. We will give him away to one of your servants. It is better that way, for him and for us.
What would have happened if you had been there for your son, I wonder? Would he have ever started to blame the gods for this deep hatred lurking inside him? You made your son into what he became, and all because a promotion was more important to you than your own flesh and blood. And that is why you will fail here, don't you see? Because failing is what you do. As a soldier, as a protector of the gods, and as a father. You are a butcher, a loser, not the glorious savior you want people to remember you as. Admit it already.
Right, a wise hermit, that's a lot of them. If you have a plan, Renfield, now would be a good time to fill us in.
You will not... We'll about that. Sean, you and the medic cover our backs. You prophets fight at my side.
They're blocking the way.
The path is clear. Advance. To the gate.
It's locked. What do we do?
We will break it open. Do you see the ballista up there? Dalvarig, you... Wait. Do you feel that?
Yes. I'm a wise hermit. I have a bad feeling about that. What the name of the sun?
Как обычно.
Wait, she's moving.
Yes. Yes, that is good. Stay with us. You were hit by a piece of debris, but we are safe, at least for the moment. His attack brought down the entire facade, but it also cut him off from us. He will not be able to get inside here. The building came down on top of him. There was nothing we could do. But you survived. That is what matters for now. Yes, and we will. But to do that, we need to find another way out of this place. So, no matter what else we do, we first have to go deeper into the temple. We finish this. That arrogant display of the High Ones was a bluff. They are afraid of us, and this puppet show out there was their last trump card. But they have failed. We're here, and we're close. All that matters now is that we summon the High One and take the Numinos from him. Then it is over. Thank the gods your injuries are only superficial. Just try to keep up. What a waste of time.
Did you see that?
Interesting. That must be the echo. We are so close to where the last cleansing happened that not only the prophetess sees it, but we do as well.
Ёпта, пока стал таким быстрым. Этим сложно передвигаться.
No buts. The beacon is all that matters. Understood? They must not harm it.
А, это еще один светоч.
There it is. The beacon. By the gods, how similar they are. Sharim, do you have the word of the dead with you?
Yes.
Good. Then place it in front of the beacon. And prepare yourself. Prophetess, it is now up to you. Somehow you must recall the moment when the last cleansing happened. If Yaela's theory is right, this is the only way to get our hands on something close to a physical form of a High One. No, but maybe you can somehow lure it. According to all that you have told me so far, the Echo seems to react to things or situations connected to the cycle. Take a look around and see if you can find something. All right.
He has betrayed us! Jakal opened the gates and now they're killing everyone!
They are similar to magic, or the power responsible for the tides. They are pure energy. It was almost as if the beacon longed for the stones. They are the key. I feel it.
The core of this sickness is in people's heads. It is a way of thinking. But you will never understand that, High Priest. Will you?
The beacon was created to banish the High Ones from existence, but to do that, we need something from them.
Ай, блядь, а чё меня задамажило? Больно.
Is that?
A High One. We have made it. How are you feeling, Prophetess? Luring the Echo like that, it must have strained you. It does, indeed. We are in the consciousness of a past civilization. Do you see that out there? Yaela was right after all. This is our Numenors, the essence of a High One.
I wish you could see this.
Unbelievable. I have done it. In spite of everything. We are in his thoughts. What could you do against that? Time does not exist here. At least not as we know it. We will see about that. Maybe that question will answer itself. Sharon, do it. Carry the container to the essence.
As you command, Erendil.
What is it? What are you waiting for?
Tell me, Aranthio. Back in the ruins, when the High Ones showed you that memory, it was the first time I saw you express real agitation. Not anger, but agitation. What you did to your son. Do you regret it, I wonder? That you abandoned him in exchange for prestige and power?
What?
I don't think you do. What got to you was being reminded of your own failure. Regret. You don't know that feeling. You never have. Not even after Kira.
Sharon, what are you?
I hired the mercenaries with Colleen. I helped him kill Lashari. And I let the Neramis into the city. And still, you don't have the slightest idea who I am, do you?
By... you were there. The night of 1,000 fires.
Yes. I survived your massacre. One of only a few.
Then you did not follow my son because you shared his ideals. You did it to get to me. What for, Yusna? Justice?
Justice. I am done with this world, Aranthio. I have been for a long time now. The only reason why I'm still here is a promise I made to someone. The promise that one day, I will be the one who takes everything from you.
Yusna, this is madness. Whatever you are planning to do, it will affect the whole world, not just me. If you want my death, why not just wait, damn it? Once we have lit the beacon, Korek will kill me. That way, all those innocent lives will be...
Just shut up! You take me for such a fool? As if there's anything in this world you would want more than to die a martyr! Teodor Aranthio, conqueror of the High Ones, savior of mankind. You like the sound of that, don't you? You like it so much. You know, at first, I was so frustrated with all the setbacks. When the Prophetess saved Lashari's research in Old Roshengrad, and when Quarek's first attack on the city didn't succeed. But then I realized that all of this would be so much more gratifying than anything else I could do to you. Your final attempt, and so close to your target, only to fail by my hand.
You asked me once what my daughter's name was. Do you remember?
Yusna, I beg you, please.
Lena. Her name was Lena.
No. That's impossible.
Вот же пидор.
You fool. Miserable, selfish fool! You killed us all!
Impressive, Aranthio. You really were close. A shame that you were too preoccupied with yourself to see it coming.
Beast! You damn beast! He was possessed! Possessed from the start!
Oh no, Aranthio. I'm afraid that is only half true. We reap, but you sowed. Of course we possessed him, but you did all the heavy lifting back at Kira, when you gave the order to massacre everyone dear to him, including his wife and his poor daughter. And so, it is a happy ending after all, isn't it? Without the Numinos, you have nothing to use the beacon's power on. And the only thing it is good for now is the destruction of your own beloved city. It will be a feast, and there will be nothing left of you once we've devoured you. Nothing but cold, gray flesh. just as we said. You have failed as you always have done. What is it, Aranthio? Lost your tongue?
No. No. I have not.
Бля, разве нельзя его убить? С
You
помощью
have
его
just
забрать опять
presented
душу.
me with a solution.
Мое предположение.
There is no solution. The cleansing will happen, and you will all die.
Yes. Yes, we will. Your Messiah, the citizens of the city, the armies, we will all burn like the sun. And then it will be over.
You're fantasizing, Aranthio. Without...
Not this time. Here we must go our separate ways. Believe me, I wish it were otherwise. But in your condition, you would just be a burden. And I cannot afford any risks. I'm sorry. The High Ones are right. We cannot use the beacon to banish them anymore. But do you remember what the Archmagister said? Without the Numinos, the beacon's energy would burst out
Блять, он
without
захотел
direction.
светоч взорвать.
Cause a massive explosion, yes. And that is the only thing we can do for mankind now. Koarek was and is essential to the High One's plan. Whatever shape the actual cleansing takes, he wants to make sure it will happen. And we, Prophetess, we may have failed in breaking the cycle for ourselves, but not for the others. The other people of this world, Arazial, Kira, Kile, they're affected by the cycle as much as Enderal. And I know that there must be people like us, people who have had the same dreams and feel what is about to happen. And if we kill Koarek and his armies, we buy these people time. Time to gather knowledge, time to build a new beacon, and time to light it themselves. Those whom the Nerimes have not yet massacred anyway, you mean? They will die, as you and I will. But they will do so for mankind's salvation. And this is something worth dying for. It is the only way, don't you see? Either we die here, rotting with the Pyreans, or we choose to give our death meaning by at least stopping this fanatic Koarek and his armies. The High Ones are a lot weaker than they pretend to be. I feel it. We were so close to destroying them. And I have faith in the others out there who will fight them. They will succeed where this scum Sharim made us fail. So, a shepherd cannot decide the fate of his sheep. What is this really about, Prophetess? Your life? Now is not the time for arrogance and selfishness. All of this is about more than just us. That you fail to see this disappoints me, Prophetess. I thought better of you than that. But it does not matter anymore. I've made my choice. I'm sorry.
It all begins with the dreams. Breathe.
Мне почему-то начинает казаться то, что вот эти вот Силуэты в мантиях пытаются помочь, нежели уничтожить человечество. Тыкалвары дурацкие. Но они делают это по-своему.
Enter the mind of a High One? I hope you're joking. This was their last stand. They are afraid of us. I feel it. You've killed us! You've killed us all! You have just shown me the solution.
This is impossible. Why are you here? Be gone, Phantom. Be gone and leave me to my slumber. Then this isn't a dream. You really are here. But why? The Prophet dies when the Emperor leaves him. This is the course of the game. It has always been so. Explain yourself. How did you find this place? And why do you still exist? Her? But why? She does not have a mind. She does not have feelings. So why should she do this? But still you speak the truth. I can feel it. Then could it really be that the unlikeliest of all eventualities has become reality and brought you here? Coincidence or caprice, I do not know. The veiled woman cannot be understood. I am sorry. It's been too long since I've spoken to anyone. I have had many names. The Akarians called me the God of Death. The Moonskin people, the Warden of Dreams. The Pyreans, the Demon of the Deep. For your people I am, or was, the Black Guardian. Pompous names, I know. However, I am none of these, neither god nor demon. I am only an eye, condemned to observe again and again. Does you measure time? Older than your most daring chronicles go back, by far. I have seen them all, since our people fell. Every civilization, every cleansing, every turn of the cycle. What? No. The Starlings came long after me. I was only a fool who wanted to save his own skin at any cost. I knew the cleansing would come. I had known it long before the Red Madness and the war started. But I also knew that fighting it as my people did, and as most do, was pointless. So I looked for another way to prevail. And I found it. What you see here is the result. The
is it? My self-dug grave. What it was meant to be was a body of steel, an immortal machine with which I planned to merge my consciousness. Only organic life could be reaped by the High Ones, and I thought that by becoming a machine, I could fool them. By the name of the sun, how brilliant I thought myself. I wanted to become a god, laughing in the face of time. But let me spare you my self-pity. What happened, happened. No. Joining the Goliath meant immortality. All I had to do was sleep and awaken once more when the cycle started again, and new life came forth. Except that this new life would not have been defenseless. I would have been a true god to them, one capable of protecting them from the High Ones. No imaginary figure like the Creator. No false gods like the Lightborn were, to speak in your language. As the only one of my people, yes. But it happened faster than it should have. And when the cleansing occurred, the Goliath was not yet finished. And as the Emperor unleashed the light, I had no choice but to complete the joining too early. A fatal error, as it turned out. I did survive, yes. But I am trapped inside this unfinished machine. And ever since then, all I can do is watch. Again and again. Yes, it was not how I planned it. The Goliath in its final form was meant to be divine, a synthesis of man and steel. But I overestimated myself, and I acted too quickly, driven by fear. Yes, but a part of the Goliath is the eye. It allows me to see what happens on the surface everywhere. Not as literal as you imagine, of course. I see schemes, feel emotions, similar to your gift, to the Echo. But they are enough to understand. No, you do not understand. You are stumbling through the fog, even now that it is almost over. By themselves, the High Ones are not the problem. If we would just see them as they really are, they would become powerless. Yes, it is hard to put into words. I myself do not know everything about the High Ones. Only that they are part of something we call the cycle. A civilization arises and blossoms, and then, always at the same stage of their development, the High Ones appear, and with them, the Red Madness. People start losing their minds, wars erupt, and chaos rules. Until 2 or 3 years later, the cleansing happens. The moment when the High Ones devour the collective consciousness, the gathered minds of this civilization, to give birth to a new one of their own. Despite all of this, nobody knows what drives them. Perhaps they act out of malice, out of an urge to survive, or perhaps they do not even have a will of their own, but are like a force of nature. But I do know one thing, as powerful as they might be, it is mankind who gives them that power. We make them into what they are, because what nobody understands is simply this. The High Ones feed on what humanity has the most of. Their ego, greed, pride, fear, and their everlasting search for an enemy who is responsible for all their misery. It is those traits the High Ones make use of. These characteristics are what make us human. And by themselves, they are harmless. Only when we bury them, when we deny them, then they play into the High One's hands. So why is this, you ask? It is simple. The High Ones alone cannot make the cleansing happen. Only a human can. With the beacon, my knowledge about it is as limited as my knowledge about the cycle. It has existed since the beginning of time. And despite what you might now believe, the ancient writings about it are true. Lit by the ones who carry the Numenos, it can banish the High Ones once and for all. But it can also destroy us. Because what happens when it is lit without a core is far more than an explosion. It is the cleansing, the triumph of the High Ones. And even as we speak, a human, Tealor Orinthiol, has done it again. A bright light will appear from the heart of the machine and open a hole in the sky. And within hours, it will spread throughout the world, and they will all feel it. A fire that burns them from within. A white light which will break through their flesh. Do you understand now? The High Ones have no power. All they do is to feed on our weaknesses, manipulate us into bringing about our own destruction. It is we who forge the sword that kills us, we who lead them to their victory, even though the key to salvation has always been in our hands. But instead of realizing our folly, we make the same mistake. We repeat the same fate over and over, and only because we refuse to see the truth. Yes, the High Ones are our enemy, but who wants to hear that it is our ego, that dark voice within us, that empowers them? It is so ironic. The moment we would realize all this would be the moment it all came to an end. But we do not. They reap, we sow. Dreams, thoughts, visions, they are everywhere, but the principle is always the same. They throw a tainted seed into a fertile ground. The rest happens by itself. Just think for a moment. When did the High Ones ever do anything other than manipulate you? Did they ever physically influence any events? They incited the Naramis to march against you, and time and again confirmed the righteousness of both your causes. All they told you, all they showed you, was what you wanted to hear, and what you wanted to see. And yes, if you, Orentheal, his order, and the Neramis had never acted, the cleansing would never have happened. Maybe there is, but if so, I do not know it. But the more turns of the cycle I witness, the more I get the impression that it is some kind of trial. A cosmic game, woven by powers we have not even come close to comprehending. Maybe this is just wishful thinking, to give all this pain a meaning, when it does not have one. Maybe the High Ones are simply a law of nature, a concept, and we give birth to them by believing there is such a thing as an ultimate external enemy in the first place. The eternal struggle with ourselves. Perhaps that is just part of what it means to exist. Like 1,000 others before him, the High Ones knew exactly what they had to do to get him to commit this last act of desperation. They played him with his weaknesses and fears, like a figure on a chessboard. And the saddest part is that until the very end, he will believe that he has done something good. That was his greatest fear, yes. To be remembered as a failure, a broken man. That was the stream the High Ones manipulated him from the moment he died, after attempting to flee from his prison on Nerim. The real Orentheal, he is dead, prophetess. He is a fleshless one of the mightiest tools of the High Ones. Just as you are. I wish it were. The methods of how the High Ones influence us are plentiful, and the Red Madness and their ability to enter our dreams are not their only means. Their mightiest tool is the creation of projections, fleshless ones, or emissaries, as they are also called. If a person dies, and if this person has one last unfulfilled wish, a compulsion, then the High Ones have the power to create a projection of him, an immaterial image of the deceased, which thinks itself real and is perceived as such. What no one notices, not even the projection itself, are two things. Firstly, it is driven by this last unfulfilled desire. Secondly, it becomes an idealized version of its former self, almost tailor-made to free itself from the last compulsion, that ultimate scourge. The daughters of fishermen become warriors. Broken generals become charismatic and driven leaders who seem almost too determined to be real. You are one of these projections, as are all of the emissaries. You are a fleshless one, a spirit searching for liberation from something. I do not know your past before you came to this land. Because before you became the prophetess, you were insignificant. But what happened to you and your friend on that ship? You never survived it. You drowned in the Red Sea. And in that very moment, the High Ones entered your mind and made you into what you are today. And other than myself, the High Ones knew your compulsion. Knew the desire that drove you. Whatever it was, it made you predictable, and it allowed them to play you, just as they played Arinthiel and Korak. Do you see it now? Every dream the High Ones sent you, every time they appeared to you, they all had but a single purpose: to feed your self-image, to push you in a certain direction. They wanted you to play the game for their purposes, and they succeeded. You read the echo of the future, as other prophets did before you. You helped Arinthiel reconstruct the beacon, and led him to the Numinos. When he saw that it would be taken away from him at the very last instant, his fear of failure led him into doing what he did. You are not to blame, prophetess. You did what countless others did before you, and you did it because you thought it was the right thing to do. Only one thing is different. In all the time I have been here, never before did a projection realize its own nature. You were meant to dissolve like the rest of mankind. Yet, here you stand, and I tell you the truth. This was never meant to happen. No, it is as I said. For as long as the cycle has existed, so has the beacon. It is an element of the game, and it has the power to end it, whether in favor of the High Ones, or in favor of mankind. Yet for as long as I have been trapped here, the latter has never happened. They gave you impulses, nudges in the right direction. Those who know a person's past know which strings to pull. The Starlings, in their time, were called the Yalam Rashe. And yes, they manipulated the game in their favor. Their goals were similar to mine when I created the Goliath. They were a small circle of highly intelligent craftsmen and mages. And just like myself, they did not think the cycle could be won by the beacon alone. So by unknown means, they fled into the sky and created something that protected their city from the cleansing. Yes. But knowledge about their history is sparse, since the Star City was almost beyond the reach of my eye. But I know that its first centuries were glorious. The Yalam Rashe lived in harmony, and their society was the pinnacle of all that mankind could be. With time, however, their population grew. They became too numerous for their small city, and so they invented their golden rules, which were supposed to control their growth. Having children was regulated now, and those who were found guilty of a crime were punished heavily. The worst sentence was being exiled. The convicted were robbed of their memories and sent back to Earth. This is where the Starlings of your world come from, do you see? And this is why they all feel this longing to return to a far distant place in the stars. It is an ancestral memory. I do not know. As I said, my knowledge about the Starlings was always limited. All I do know is that one day they were gone. I could not feel them anymore. By that time, their society had become but a shadow of what it once was. Whether they destroyed themselves or left for someplace else, I will never find out. Oh, stop it. No, it is too late for that. By the name of the sun, it is so ironic that the veiled woman did not lead you here earlier. It is over, prophetess. You are strong, but regardless of how long your power can protect you from the light of the cleansing, eventually you will dissolve too. Even if... Wait. No. Maybe you are right. Maybe there is a way. But no, it would be pointless. Forgive me, I have to think. Yes, there could be a way. What I told you is true. Here on Earth, you would not survive the cleansing. But there is one place where you could. The Star City. I know that you brought something back from your journey there. The escape pods. And I know that they can also take you back there. For I have seen the Yalam Rashe, the ancient starlings, do so. Whatever has protected the city over all these millennia, it would protect you too. Yes, you could survive it. By the face of time, you could. No, it would not. But that is irrelevant. You are fleshless, a projection. And just like me, time cannot touch you. Age cannot kill you. And thus you could succeed where I have failed. You could wait for the cleansing to be over, and then create a new humanity. Create a new humanity. It is only a matter of time until the new turn of the cycle starts. New life will come forth. First, simple life, then human. And just like the civilizations before them, they will also fall victim to the High Ones, because they will have the same weaknesses as we do. But not with your help. You could be a god to them. You could guide their ascent. You could shape a mankind free of egos and weaknesses. And by doing so, you would deprive the High Ones of their power. Just imagine, in this new world, there would be no need for a beacon, because the High Ones simply would not have any strings to pull on. Mankind will defeat them by becoming superior. No, they are already dead, damn it. Orinthiel has lit the beacon. And unlike anything else you could do right now, this would be a chance for permanent change. By the face of time, do not let all of this become meaningless. Every second you waste doubting lessens your chance to get to safety. The High Ones reap, we sow. It is our weakness that make the High Ones strong. Our ongoing fragility. And if not for that, the High Ones would be powerless. You could be the one to create a humanity like that. Altruism instead of greed. Self-responsibility instead of the continuous search for an enemy. Awareness instead of blindness. The Lightborn tried to force their ideals onto an already rotten people. Just like the Pyrean Sun Priest, and the countless false deities before them. You cannot save a tree whose roots have already withered. But with you as a deity to lead this new mankind, it would be entirely different. You could completely change what it means to be human. And would it not be presumptuous to rob the world of this chance? Simply because you are afraid of failing? Believe me, I would give a lot for this chance. Yes, because that old starling did harm to the city by trying to destroy a crystal. That awoke the Guardians, but they are asleep now. I can feel it. You would be safe, believe me.
Ну, в его словах есть какой-то смысл, а в этом, понимаю, он уже этот, как там, страж запустил в свет.
It means a lot to me to hear you say that. What is important now is that we act quickly. The cleansing is already happening, and you will not have much time left to flee. You must go through the portal and then back to the temple. Then you have to activate the pods, and the rest will happen automatically. When all this is over, I will try to reach out to you. He is. I'm sorry, but this is one more reason why you have to do the right thing. Please, make his death matter. Yes, and hurry. You will feel the light as soon as you are back on the surface. And given time, it will consume you. But you will succeed. I feel it. There is one more thing I need to ask of you, however. One final request. I want you to shut me down. Yes, I want to finally rest. Please do not try to convince me to do otherwise. All that. I do not want to be a part of it any longer. I have not wanted to for a long, long time. Please, do it. The switch is in front of you. That was how I connected myself to the Goliath. It will cut the connection as well. Do it, and then go. Go and fulfill your fate.
Да, он же сказал то, что свяжется со мной. Как он со мной свяжется, если я его отключу? А, так вот почему он говорит то, что он недоделанный. Ему ног не хватает. Одна рука вроде бы у него готовая, вторая не очень. Включи. Да фиг знает, включать меня, отключать. Блять, я сейчас помру вместе. Блять. О, текстурия. Ой, меня тэпнуло. Забавно. А ты уверен в этом? Может быть, если совершить циклы, я можно было починить или достроить. Мне вот интересно, что он скажет, если я просто уйду? Или он ничего не скажет? Он ничего не скажет. Ладно, давай попробуем отключить. Так просить.
Forgive me. The two of us will now exchange places. I am sorry for the deception. And if there were another way, I would
Вот
not
что он
do
хотел
this.
сделать все это время.
Even though you made the right choice, you are too naive to become a true god. What do you know? What have you seen? You are but a toddler in the face of time. I, however, know mankind better than anyone else, and I deserve it. Once this is all over, I will send someone to free you from the Goliath. But until then...
Ну, блядь, ты хочешь сделать то же самое, что я предложил. О, кто-то мне помог. О, нихера себе, так ты жив. Вот, чел, вот надо тебе было это делать. Я, в принципе, тебе также помог. Если твой план сработал бы, я пришел, почему
By the wise hermit, are you okay? I was so afraid. You...
Miserable fool! I would have kept my word, but if you want to play games, fine! I have had enough time to practice!
Shit!
See, what have you achieved? I deserve this!
Shit! Holy shit! Get away from the glowing one!
We could
Quickly!
have built a better world together! But you've thrown it all away! For who?
что происходит? Там вроде Джеспа что-то говорит, но я не могу и драться, и читать, что он мне говорит. Что происходит? У меня все ваншотают. Слово, у меня вроде бы как почти 600 хп.
I might be powerless today, but this place is mine, and I will take what I deserve!
Так, что-то я ни хера не понимаю, что от меня хотят. Какими штуками разобраться?
Oh shit! Not again! Get away from the glowing one!
Да ёбаны.
The shields are down! The generators, now! Holy shit!
Подсказчик хуев, ты можешь раньше давать подсказки? Ну я, короче, понял, что от меня хотят. Ай, блядь, кто меня бьет в спину? Да ёб твою мать, что за взрывы, почему они меня ваншотают? У меня 600 хп, блядь, почему это меня убивает с одного раза? Я понял, что меня ваншотает. Это призрак вылазит. Вот этот вот. Да иди нахуй. Того, что я понял, это не помогает. Он взрывается каким-то атомным взрывом. Он находится хер поймет меня, но меня все равно закивает. Еще эти штуки ломать нужно чем-то быстро, но не могу 20 минут. Ну, как быстро, оказывается, его одолеть можно. Ачивочка. Вы одолели черного стража.
I guess the explanations will have to wait.
Ну, было бы неплохо.
I had a feeling that might be the case. Go on ahead. I'll follow. Yeah, I guessed as much. Yuzlan and he didn't even try to get me inside after that dragon attacked us. Lucky for me, I found another way in. Otherwise, I never would have found you. And you were...
В чем дело? Ты не видел, что у него вены
My skull, it feels like it's on fire.
обухли? Херовый от ощущения ему.
This must be the cleansing. If this is how it feels down here, then fate have mercy on those who are on the surface. Don't you feel anything? Then the Black Guardian was right, wasn't he? What you are, your fleshlessness, it protects you. By the wise hermit, I just don't understand. I mean, you're here, right before me, and I can see you. Is it really possible? Could you be an illusion? Huh. I guess so. So, what now? Your decision, is it final? Oh, of course. Who better to answer that question than a philanthropist like me? But if you insist, I think the Black Guardian was right, though. Sacrificing yourself, it would be pointless. Even if I somehow managed to escape the explosion from the beacon, how do we know that those other people Orenthiel put so much faith in would even believe me? You said it yourself, people want to be deluded. That's what makes the High Ones so strong. But to create a new world, as bizarre as all this sounds, I think it would be our best chance. But then again, it is your call. If we flee, I won't live to see this new mankind. I don't know. But there is a secret passage into the South Quarter. If I can reach the Myrid there, I might be able to flee to one of the islands. I think I can make it. Somehow.
Блин, я понимаю, вот это второй раз мне предлагает выбрать вариант концовки. Я бы, конечно, хотела бы попробовать побороться с этими высшими. Кажется, хуй что там выйдет. И этот вариант не факт, что прокатит их не план. Давай попробуем подраться.
I hope you're right. I really do. Then I suppose I should start looking for a way out now, shouldn't I? Kira would be a good place to start. Maybe the Golden Queen will listen to me. It was a pleasure. Farewell.
Да. А тут-то спасать есть кого? По-моему, тут большая часть уже скопытилась. Так, а кого мне найти нужно? Найти Галию. Она у меня ведь никак не отмечается. А, нихуя. О, как. Галия. Да я ебу. А, ну, вот она.
Saira, I thought you were dead. The beacon, the Naramis. They tried to storm the temple, as the Grandmaster said they would. We tried to stop them, but there were just too many of them. Orenthio, he came back just when we thought it was too late. That the High Ones killed you, Sharim, Chespar, all of you, and that he found the Numinos and would save us all. Then he went to the beacon and... Yes, just then Aramis broke through the gate, but it all happened so quickly. There was this flash, and suddenly this rift in the sky. The light, it burns us from within. Can't you feel it, Saira? Maybe it's the echo. Maybe it protects you. But I suppose it doesn't matter anymore, does it? I don't have much longer. I can feel it. Saira, tell me one thing. What's happening here? I thought the beacon would save us. What? But you're here. That must mean something, right? You can stop it. You can save us. Hope. I like the sound of that. At least that means that all of this wasn't for nothing. We did something good. And that's...
О как, я опять здесь. А, стоп, не домик?
A great philosopher once said that every change begins with a moment of lucidity. In these moments, a veil opens, one which normally shrouds all the unwelcome truths we are aware of, but which we have buried deep within ourselves, where we cannot see them. And it is only these moments in which we can make a decision. The decision to either act or to let the moment pass, until the veil seals itself again and we once more are the slaves of our habits. I don't believe in revolutions. They're too simple, too fiery, and they too often end with the opposite result of what was intended. But neither am I a cynic who has lost all of his faith in the world. Change is possible, but it won't come as a big bang, but rather as a long path, one that will constantly confront us with obstacles. Obstacles we can either choose to overcome, or at which we can choose to quietly turn around and go back to being what we were. The sacrifice of the one who will be remembered as the prophetess is proof that I am right. Yes, some might see the downfall of Enderal as the triumph of the High Ones, but it wasn't. It was neither that nor a triumph for mankind. What we were granted was a moment of lucidity, the chance to start our own walk down a long, rocky path. The High Ones exist because we believe in them. We, our egos, give them their power. And the more we listen to their words, the more we hate them, and the more powerful they become. Indeed, the beacon, this ancient machine of unknown origin, can destroy us, but it can also free us from the High Ones. If we use it right. Rumors that the Arizalians have started constructing a second beacon, and the knowledge that this time we are aware of its nature, give me hope that the prophetess has not died in vain, and that we continue walking.
Да направит тебя свет. И выкидывает меню. А если я попробую второй вариант ответа тыкнуть?
And you were... This must be the cleansing. Then the black... You're here, right before me. Huh. I guess so. So... Yes. Then... In a few hours' time, the two of us will be the only survivors of mankind. Heck, that sounds so unreal. You have to prepare the escape pods. I'll wait for your signal. Now go, before it's too late. And be careful.
Saira, I tried Orenthia. The High Ones, the light, it, different. Saira, what? But you're here. Hope. At least we did something good. That's...
Ну, типа эта концовка заканчивается тем, что просто даешь еще один такой же шанс остановить цикл. И не факт, что они им воспользуются. А во второй концовке.
Quickly. Get us out of here.
А кто это меня уже на кратку наложил?
Hey. I don't know. When I woke up, we were here. You were still unconscious, so I took the liberty of carrying you into that room. Just look at that. From here, it all seems so peaceful, untouched, as if all that's happened was nothing but a bad dream. I guess as far as the world's concerned, it doesn't make a difference if we live or die. Now it's up to us.
Лучший мир, достижение получено. Ну, типа сразу. Блин, даже пропустить нельзя. Ладно, я просто сразу переёбну, что опять не хватает. Они еще и вдобавок громкие. Ну, что сказать? Что сказать? Фиг знает, какая мне концовка больше понравилась. Вторая как-то вообще не рассказана. Ну, типа, в первой было понятно, что я остановил этот цикл, пожертвовал собой, и дал шанс остановить следующий. В этой же концовке, ну, ебать, мы отправились в город, в котором вроде как безопасно, пока что. А что дальше, непонятно. Ну, да и ладно. В общем, мне понравился этот Skyrim. Довольно интересная модификация. Если кому-то, в принципе, понравился Skyrim, пройти этот Skyrim будет тоже прикольно. Сюжетная линия с основами Скайрима. Прокачка вот немного замудренная, честно. С этими книгами, с телепортами в этот дурацкий хаб, я не знаю, как это назвать, про меню прокачки. Ну, а я, наверное, буду закругляться, там, может, что-нибудь еще подрублю. В общем, как обычно, кто смотрел, тот молодец, а я по съебам даю.